Remember that episode of The X-Files where Dana Scully pulls out an AK-47 to mow down a horde of zombies created by a 100-year-old Rasputin controlled by an alien artifact? No? Not one of the classics? Yeah, there's a reason for that. I am not a survival horror person. Too spooky, too scary, too itchy tasty. When I got the Resident Evil remake for the GameCube as a little kiddo, I had my big brother play through it as I watched and gave out useless tips from the sidelines. My poor little heart just couldn't take it. I am, however, an X-Files person. Aliens? Of course. Inbred cannibal families? Hell yeah. A weird grey butthole mouth manworm that lives in portable toilets? That's my fetish. Even though I spent half of my video on the X-Files FMV game bashing the show for being mostly crap, I do actually like it. Won't be the last bad TV show that I forced myself to suffer through. That's just one of those funny and painful life things. So how does the X-Files Resist or Serve rank in the pantheon of X-Files media? Well, there's lots of stuff at the bottom of that barrel, and this game swims comfortably among them. In short, it's a disappointing waste of time, even if you come in with low expectations. In long, where do I begin? First off, the camera angles in the game make me wish for tank controls. You know how bad a game has to be to make you wish for tank controls? The story is unfocused, recycling a bunch of X-Files tropes like vague conspiracies, evil pharmaceutical companies, and unimaginatively shoving the Tunguska event into the overall mythos, all while adding in a dump truck full of zombies, because this is a video game and it just needs a whole lot of inappropriate combat in between terrible puzzles. Really, half of the puzzles boil down to, need item to progress. Oh, here's the item just hanging out in a corner of the same room. The game doesn't even lean into the survival horror tropes well. You don't have a limited inventory, ammo and health are plentiful as are save spots, and the enemies rarely pose a challenge. This game oozes low budget. Sure, David and Gillian are here, as are some of the other X-Files regulars. I can't imagine the lone gunmen, fan-favorite 9/11 predictors as they are, were a very large chunk of the budget. But the animations are terrible across the board, from facial to walk cycles to whatever this is.
Mulder made contact. He didn't have the reaction we expected. Just the opposite. I don't think Mulder's gonna make it.
The music is by series composer Mark Snow, which means just like the show, the only good song is the X-Files theme, and literally everything else is tonally inappropriate at best. So what about the good then? Hey, look, you actually get to play as either Mulder or Scully, and their campaigns are a little bit different. As I mentioned, the show's cast is present, and they sometimes even seem enthused about it.
A well-funded program gets a grade A cover-up. I'd look for the Union label on this one.
And as Scully, you get to do autopsies, which is a mechanic that immediately adds a full point to any game. So at the very least, we've got a 1 out of 10 here. The detailed inspection models are detailed indeed, and this is one of those small things I really appreciate. And finally, there's lots of behind-the-scenes extras you get to unlock if that's what you're into. Makes it feel a little bit less like the cheap cash-in it actually is. That's it. That's all of the good. I'm now going to make 2 comparisons here. First, the obvious, to the X-Files FMV game. Yeah, it's not great. Has got lots of problems. But it's ambitious. It tries something. It fails real hard, mostly by having its protagonist be the most boring man in the history of fiction instead of these two, and having just god-awful navigation. But the attempt is appreciated. Resist or Serve doesn't try anything. It's a poor pastiche of Resident Evil and Silent Hill, stubbornly refusing to be the traditional brainy and spooky slow burn adventure game it should have been. Also, you don't have to kill a bunch of dogs and cats in the FMV game, so that wins by default. My second comparison is a little more out there. The Da Vinci Code game. I don't have a video on it because that would mean I'd have to play through it again, and good lord do I value my grasp on reality too much for that. Of course it's awful. It's licensed trash that's also afflicted with far too many lousy combat sequences. But did anyone expect the Da Vinci Code game to be good? Even if you're a fan of the movie in a sick, twisted, guilty pleasure sort of way, which I totally am, does the idea of it make any cell in your nervous system twitch even a little? Didn't think so. I suppose it's my own fault for assuming there was even a small chance that Resist or Serve would be more like a Clyde Bruckman's Final Repose than a Tiso dos Bichos. If you're curious about this one, don't be. If you want to believe, cut it out. Stay far, far away. Keep the truth locked tight inside.
I'm a federal agent. I want you to step away from the bed and show me your hands.